Imagine having a playlist, but one that's almost 3,000 years old, and it has a song for every single human emotion you could possibly feel. Well, that's kind of what we're diving into today. We are cracking open the Bible's ancient songbook, the Book of Psalms. So, what is it about this collection that has just captivated people for thousands of years? It's so much more than just a book of old poems. It's like a direct window into the spiritual heart of an ancient people. And believe it or not, it's put together much more deliberately than you might think. All right, so let's start with the absolute basics. What are we really talking about when we say the Psalms? Well, at its very core, the Book of Psalms is this incredible, carefully chosen anthology of ancient Hebrew hymns. So think of it as a collection of religious songs and prayers. But here is the most important part, the one detail you really need to remember. Every single one of them, whether it's a song of pure joy or a desperate cry of sorrow, is directed to God. And listen, we are not talking about just a handful of songs here. This is a massive collection. We're talking 115 distinct pieces. That number alone should give you a sense of the sheer scale and, frankly, the importance of this whole compilation. So that brings us to a really crucial question. Why were these written in the first place? What was their original purpose? And the answer is actually pretty profound. Probably the best way to think about it is with this one phrase. The Psalms served as a school of prayer. They weren't just songs to sing along to. They were teaching tools. They were models for how to talk to God, how to express your rawest emotions, and really how to build a genuine relationship with the divine. Okay, so if we were to actually open up this ancient songbook, what's inside? Well, it's this incredible mix of different styles, different tones, and a whole range of emotional themes. Right, so this is not just one type of song over and over again. It is incredibly diverse. You'll find these beautiful hymns of pure praise. You'll find songs of deep thanksgiving, maybe for a good harvest. But you'll also find heartbreaking laments of sorrow and even royal psalms about the king. It literally covers every single aspect of life. So you'll find psalms that are just overflowing with pure, unfiltered joy, songs celebrating God's creation and goodness. But then, on the very next page, you might find these profound expressions of deep sorrow and despair, literal cries for help from the depths of human suffering. And it really doesn't shy away from the hard stuff. The Psalms give a voice to raw, unfiltered anger and frustration. And that shows us something really important, that these feelings, even the difficult ones, were seen as a totally legitimate part of a life of faith. And yet through all of that, there is this powerful undercurrent of hope, a deep trust in God's faithfulness, and a constant look toward a better future, even in the absolute darkest of times. The whole spectrum of what it means to be human is right here. Now, this incredible emotional roller coaster isn't just random. It's all part of a very deliberate design. The entire collection is actually structured into 5 smaller books, and that's on purpose. It mirrors the 5 books of the Torah. And each of these 5 sections wraps up with what's called a doxology, which is basically just a closing hymn of praise that neatly ties it all together. So, naturally, a collection this profound raises a pretty big question. Who actually wrote these timeless pieces? Well, the answer isn't quite as straightforward as you might hope. So, on the one hand, tradition attributes many of these psalms directly to famous biblical figures like King David. But on the other hand, the modern scholarly view is a bit more cautious. While those traditions are super important, most scholars today would agree that we can't definitively prove the specific author or the exact date for most of the psalms. Okay, so that brings us to the bottom line. With all this history and all this complexity, why does this ancient book continue to be so significant for millions of people all over the world today? At the end of the day, their power endures because they are just so useful. The Psalms are like a roadmap for spiritual growth. They give us those models for prayer that we talked about, but maybe, just maybe, the most important thing they do is give people the permission and the words to bring their truest feelings and their deepest needs straight to God. So that really just leaves us with one final thought. These ancient songs capture the entire messy, beautiful, complicated range of what it means to be human. And so the only question left is, which one of those songs speaks to where you are today?